Trippin podcast continues, and this time we are super excited to welcome in Mr. and Mrs. JCSU, that's Johnson C. Smith University, Isreal Spencer, and also Noluthando Dlomo. Yes, so it's an opportunity for us to spend a little bit of time with not just student athletes, not just teachers, professors, but a student that is constantly focused on helping their community, which is what both of you guys are focused in. Isreal, let's start with you. And what does it even mean, or what is the process that you go through to become Mr. JCSU?
Okay, so pretty much Tondo and our process is very similar. So for the community position, we would apply through your application. And then after that, the second round would be the interview. So we have a panel interview consisting of faculty and staff, about 10 faculty and staff members that will give you a panel interview. So after that, when you're selected to that, we go through our pageant process. So through the pageant, it consists of the oratory, talent portion, question and answer, and you're declaring your platform as well. So then after that, the next stage is the popular vote. So then the person who has the highest total votes and overall score receives the position of Mr. JCSU.
So it's not easy at all.
Definitely not. Nope.
What was your platform, both of you guys?
My platform was UCAN, uplift community service, advocacy, and networking.
Awesome.
My platform was, it was centered around trying to enhance the idea of global citizenship within the university, and I basically encouraged everybody to be aware of the fact that the world is their oyster, basically, and I spoke a lot on my experiences and how I've seen the world, and how exposure has made me realize that I have so much just by having a phone. You can touch so many people, and I just wanted people to take heed.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, Tondo graduated from the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. So you know exactly what it means to, number one, be able to touch many people, but number two, to know what it's like to go without as well. So,
yeah.
So you've been on both sides of that fence, and walk me through what that journey has been like for you.
It's been very interesting, actually, because when I came to Johnson C. Smith University, of course, people, they look at you and they, form their own ideas of, what you are, who you are, where you come from. But I think running for Miss JCSU gave me the opportunity to reintroduce myself to a lot of my peers and share my story with them and let them know that I've had so many similar experiences to you, and I am you. I represent exactly what you do, and I've seen the same struggles or similar struggles as you have. I grew up I'm an only child. I grew up with my grandmother, raised by my grandmother, lost my mother at the age of 16. And having gone to the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy was really an eye-opener for me. I was exposed to so many other girls who looked just like me. I grew up in a predominantly Caucasian neighborhood in Johannesburg, South Africa, and normally had struggles with identity and didn't know quite what the role of a black woman is in the world. And when I went into the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy, I came across so many strong, intelligent girls who looked just like me, who talked just like me, who had the same aspirations and dreams as I did, and it opened my eyes up so much. And so when I came to Johnson C. Smith, I had grown a lot, and so people looked at that growth and thought, oh my gosh, she's got it all together, everything's going perfectly, but my past was invisible to them. And so I've enjoyed being Miss Johnson C. Smith University. I've enjoyed getting to know my peers. I've enjoyed letting them into my world and my story as well.
Okay, so when you write your book, send me a copy.
Signed though, girl. Signed, personal messages.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This question is going to be for Isreal because, I love to see young black men in a position of influence. And my question to you would be, with all of the things that you see going on, I work in the sports arena, so there's a lot of things going on that you get stereotyped, and this is what they do, and this is how they act. What's your plan to shed light on that and change it? Because, believe it or not, you represent not only Johnson C. Smith, but you represent pretty much every black man when you have a position, a platform, as
Right.
you spoke about earlier.
Right.
What's your plan to promote that further?
Right. Well, actually, through this position, specifically, we are actually brand ambassadors for our university. So with that, we're the face of our university. So it's pretty much like our responsibility to actually like represent our university on a national and local level. But for me personally, I have made it my own personal mission to go back out in the community and reach out and help those wherever I can. More specifically, I love to reach out in the educational field. Education is something that I plan to pursue post-graduation. So right now, I actually volunteer on Mondays and Wednesdays at a local school called Friends Academy, which is pretty close to our campus. And it's about a 4th grade class of guys where I go and really sit down and help them with their homework and really teach them whenever I can. So I love to inspire youth, especially males, because a lot of times like I feel like they really don't get that at home. So I try to make it my own personal mission to help that and reach out and give back whenever I can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Maria, have we done anything in life?
No, I haven't. I was just thinking. Yeah, I was thinking like being 6'2" means nothing. Volleyball, I don't even know what these things are.
I don't even know what that is.
Nobody cares about these footballs that you caught through or intercepted.
I'm getting schooled. I'm in a master class.
We are getting schooled. We've been schooled so much on this Road Trippin podcast. You know, it's interesting because you guys are students right now in the middle of what we're seeing as the Black Lives Matter movement. And so we talk about, you know, the University of Missouri from a football standpoint and what student athletes did from a grassroots level, but you guys have an opportunity to do it from a student level. I'm just curious how HBCUs approach what's going on in the world around them and the political activism that maybe you guys participate in or things that you've seen happen in the grassroots level at Johnson C. Smith.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can say personally, I've been attended an HBCU, like we really get that firsthand. A lot of times people really, well, my generation specifically, we fail to realize and remember that back in, like during the civil rights movement, it was the HBCUs who were the epicenter for the movement of the civil rights. It was the students who were angry, who were upset, who came together to really push forward through that movement. A lot of students were actually marching on Washington, and during this past, the anniversary of the March on Washington, we rallied many HBCUs and actually took buses to DC, and we're actually marching. We're a part of that. So, yeah.
And I have to say, it was really a prideful moment for me to see everybody come together like that and do what all the HBCUs did, because our generation is caught in between like real life activism and social media activism. We're really good at posting the posters and the flyers that say, oh, I am for Missouri and Black Lives Matter. The difficulty is making sure that we live what we're saying online, and that's the hardest part. So that was really impressive to see everybody come together like that.
Yeah, I saw a little hand clap over there. There's a little, I'll put it right in the mic.
It does. Me and Maria and I went on during the whole Missouri incident that took place, and we had a long, deep discussion about it. And that was, I wondered, how does HBCUs feel? Because the high school I went to was on Southern University's campus. So we didn't deal with the race issue because everybody was black. And we never had those kind of, you know, just totally across the track type moments. So I always wonder, how did you guys feel when you look outside of your university and you see what's going on out in the outside world, and you see some of the things that are starting to creep back into society? What is the role of the HBCU? Not just you guys as representing the university, but what is the role of an HBCU to not only further promote Black Lives Matter, but to make sure that they're important enough to have a voice in what's going on in all the national society?
I think the role of the HBCU is to continuously evolve. A lot of people are kind of stuck between making the HBCU experience futuristic and be a part of what is currently happening, and torn between what it historically meant
What do you mean futuristic? What do you mean by futuristic?
I think in order for the HBCU to survive as the HBCU, we have to evolve. We have to we have to take into we have to take into mind that things change, and so we can't always do things the same way we've always done them. And a lot of people fight that change because they feel like, oh, you're changing the HBCU experience, or you're changing the HBCU. You know, historically HBCUs didn't have a lot of international students like myself, but me having come here has opened my whole mind up to a whole different world. So much so that I wanted to advocate for it, you know, and I wanted to be a part of whatever is happening, because I come from a place that had the same thing going on, but called it by a different name, you know. And so when you allow yourself to be a part of that change and to evolve, you turn the HBCU experience into something way bigger than it actually is, and you let the whole world into what you're doing. And people my age in South Africa, when I share everything that I've been doing, when I share everything that happens in my HBCU, they're intrigued by it. You know, so much so they want to be a part of it. When I say, oh my gosh, it's CIAA, people, can we vote for this? My peers in South Africa also want to vote, you know? And so that globalizes the whole experience. And so I think the willingness to evolve is really important for the HBCU.
I would not.
Isreal, if you would like to say words, you can.
I would have not won Mr. Johnston.
Nothing. Wait a minute. We didn't even ask you. Have you ever met Oprah?
I have.
Can we just have a moment for that? Okay. Yeah. I don't know how I missed that question in the first place. What's she like? I know she loves bread. Yeah.
She's very much human.
Oh.
She doesn't float.
Okay.
She walks on her 2 feet. She doesn't glide. No.
Okay.
I mean, she's a mother figure to me. Before I knew her as the huge celebrity that she is, I knew her as a caregiver first, and so that's what she's remained to me. When I'm with her or when I'm around her, I feel love in abundance and care and nurture, and that's the kind of person that she is.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. I'd love to hear what both of you guys plan on doing after you graduate. Just give us a rundown of just some of the goals that you have set for yourselves. That's like the best question ever, right? Because you get to make whatever you want up. And I can't tell you can't do it. No one can tell you can't do it. I can't tell you it's wrong.
Well, actually, after graduation, I'll be relocating to Atlanta, Georgia. I have a brother down there who's actually in the process of starting up a company and asked me to assist him with that. And I'll also be pursuing education. I'll be a middle school math teacher as well.
Oh, shout out to the, you know what, we need more African American male teachers, and for you to be a middle school teacher is huge, so shout out to you, that's awesome.
And then after that, maybe a few years, I plan to pursue my master's degree in political science.
Sweet. Also, what part of Georgia are you moving to?
Alpharetta.
Oh, don't send me to the building. Yes, you can hit me up if you need to know all the hot spots.
Okay.
Yes, I know. Okay. First of all, we go to Publix. Okay. I'll let you know. Don't worry about it, okay? We go stay in contact.
She doesn't even know what a zone is.
It's on my mic flag.
All right.
I don't know if you saw it, but it's on the mic flag. Go ahead.
Okay, so after graduation, I've applied for a couple of positions within communications area. I'm looking at DC and California. I am currently a communications major, and I'm planning to pursue a master's degree in broadcasting and reporting.
So I have a question for you. How are you going to bridge the gap between Johannesburg, South Africa, and Johnston C. Smith? How do you take this message and what you've learned back to your native land and share it with girls that may be in a similar position that you were in, and to promote them, to give them an idea that you can leave home or you can stay home and make a difference?
That's an awesome question, and I feel like I've already started. I try to go home at least once or twice a year, and every time I go home, I let local high schools and primary schools, which you call middle schools here, know that I'll be around and I want to reach out to you guys and talk and share some stuff with you. And so every time I'm home, I hold little motivational talks, if you want to call them that, and I speak with a lot of young women and men, but a lot of women especially. South Africa is a country that has, very recently come out of a very harsh, oppressive system, and so a lot of girls, they have voices but don't know how to use them yet, and it was the most liberating thing for me to find my voice. And so it's very important, I feel, that I go out there and say, we can actually speak, y'all.
Yeah.
They listen, they hear us. And so I go and I speak to a lot of girls, and a lot of them are not even more intrigued by the idea of the fact that I'm, overseas, but by the fact that you can do so much as a woman. You can do so much. You can touch everything. And so every time I'm asked the question about what do you plan to do after graduation, the reason it's just such a trip for me is because I want to do so much, and I don't know where to start, but I want to do so much. And I've realized that, my potential isn't only, centered around one career. I can touch so many people, I can speak to so many people, I can go to so many places. And so I think they've really enjoyed hearing and, listening to all the things that happen here and hearing about all the similarities, because a lot of times we look at each other, we think we're so different from one another, and I'm found we're so similar.
Well, you know what? You guys have been amazing.
Drop the
This is
mic.
for sure
Drop
the
the mic.
highlight of the. They're gone. They're gone. They're out. The highlight of the podcast. I've never been so inspired to just get up and do something. I don't know what I'm going to do, Marcus, but we should probably go do it.
You know what? I was thinking about when both of them were talking, and it's always funny to me. You can learn from anybody.
Yeah.
And I think one thing we've done in our culture is we've tuned out because your age is a less number than ours. And I've learned so much by you guys talking.
How old are you guys?
21.
22.
See?
I mean, come on now.
And I'm old.
Yeah.
I mean, so
No.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I'm blown away by both of
Absolutely.
you guys' stories.
We're definitely we are going to follow both of you, your careers, and if you ever need anything, we are going to all stay in touch, okay?
Yes, we
because
are. We are
you guys
right
do
here in
great
Charlotte.
things. Yes.
Yeah.
And some stuff. Thanks